my instinct is to say yes, we do. When our back is against the wall
Mm.
and we're under huge pressure, that's when I think we find we have resources to match or to beat the pressure that's coming at us. And I think that's probably true of footballers because although to lay people like us, oh God, if I was playing badly, I wouldn't want to go on the pitch and play. These guys and women, they are well trained in what they do. They're obviously felt to be good enough at what they do.
Mm.
So, yeah, people can rise to that challenge. And it's the old thing about adrenaline, and you go on a stage. And I mean, over the years, I've done a lot of stage stuff with music in bands and groups in duos, even on my own sometimes, quite a lot on my own.
Mm.
And I don't have that stage fright. I always get fairly nervous. At the same time, I feel relatively calm because I know I'm well prepared, I'm well trained on the stuff I'm going to play. So I relish it. And looking back, when I've done a lot of these things, usually, more often than not, far more often than not, I come away thinking, yeah, that went well. And all that adrenaline is there and that kind of pumps you and it's good. So some people respond better to pressure than others, depends on what game we're talking about, what part of life.
Mm.
But yeah, pressure is probably a good thing. If you had a situation where you say to your team, well, look, guys, go out there, try and win. If we can win, that'll be lovely. But don't worry, don't push yourselves too much. We don't want you under pressure or getting worried about it. I mean, it wouldn't work, would it? You'd have a team of people. I don't care. We're getting paid anyway. But yeah, pressure is something humans put on each other, ultimately for good effect. I think it brings the best out of us when we're up against it in any part of life. In my opinion, we give the best account of ourselves. And I think
Mm.
that applies to sports people as well. Just to
Oh,
say, well, we got time mentioning that I see FIFA gave Sarina Wiegman coach of the year in the Fulham in the women's categories, and they also gave Hannah Hampton, I think, goalkeeper of the year. So there's two very good. I mean, they've had quite a lot of trophies, haven't they? Really, for these things,
yeah.
best coaches, best players, best team, so on. So
Mm.
all congratulations to them for being great representatives of Britain, of England, and the English game. It's phenomenal, the success. Really, when you think they won the last two Euros,
Back to
it
back.
doesn't, in my view, doesn't really get enough plaudits, enough
Mm.
attention. What
Mm.
if that was the men who won the last two Euros? We'd all be singing in the streets, wouldn't we? Well,
We
perhaps
would.
not, but we might want to. But well done, the
Yeah,
women. They're blasting the way forward for us, and let's
they
hope
are.
the men do the same next year in the
Yeah.
World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Right. So, Manchester United. So Jamie Carragher is talking about a match between Manchester United and Bournemouth, I think. He said we've just seen the best game of the Premier League so far. The majority of that game, Manchester United were absolutely fantastic. And then he then said Bournemouth wasn't in it in the first half, but in the second half they were fantastic. What a game, brilliant. He said, "What do you make of that game?"
Well, yeah, it was a bit of a game of two halves, to quote the old saying, because the first half it was clearly Manchester United dominating. It looked very much as if they were going to win. And Bournemouth, I thought, were very disappointing. When you think, I think they're about 12th or 13th, something like
Mm.
that, 14th even, in the league. When we played them a bit earlier in the season, after 4 or 5 games at Palace, I remember they went ahead. It ended in a draw, I believe, as far as I remember. But they
Mm.
went ahead. And for about half an hour till we equalised, they were top of the league. It was that early stages, 3 or 4 games played. and if they'd done well up to then, as Palace had, and it was kind of it was called a top of the league clash, and a bit unreal, Bournemouth and Palace. I think Palace might have been third at that stage. But of course, their fans at Palace, they were saying, "We are top of the league. Yeah, we are top of the league," which they were. So it's been a bit of a fallback. I mean, they've now not won for 7 games. And I think out of that, there's 3 draws, including the other night. So they would have lost 4. So they've had a real falling away, really, which is disappointing and surprising because they were functioning well last season and I think they will come good now. But the second half, I don't know what the manager said, but they came out a different team. They were sort of firing on all the cylinders, I think, and making a real game of it, so that from 2-1, I can't remember the sequence of goals, but when you get to the last 10 minutes, I think Bournemouth were winning. And then Manchester United equalised, I think, with about 10 or 11 minutes to go. So it was then 3-3. And then Manchester United scored again towards the end of the 90 minutes, didn't they? So it looks, for all intents and purposes, Man U had regained their lead in the game and we're going to win 4-3. But of course, only to then find that Bournemouth equalised very much towards I don't even know if it was in the last added on minutes, but it could have been. But they equalised 4-4, a very unusual score in football terms anyway, particularly in the Premier League. But incredibly, I think they actually got their equaliser in the last few minutes of added on time. But incredibly, they then had 2 more chances, did Bournemouth, to win that game 5-4. In both cases, the goalkeeper made pretty good saves, one with his leg, I think, and they could easily have been goals. And God, they would have won an unlikely victory, 5-4. But even then, 4-4 was a bit of a breathless game, that second half, to watch it as a neutral. It was quite something. And I found I don't really mind. I don't dislike many teams that I say, I really hope they lose. So in a sense, I didn't mind who won that game. I went to Manchester United for the game against Palace towards the end of last season, and just before the game, outside the ground at Old Trafford, they had the memorial service for the anniversary of the Munich disaster. And it was very moving. It was a very moving thing. Palace fans were there with Man United fans. And I think I've always had a soft spot for Manchester United for whatever reasons. I think because one of my brothers, he's always been a Manchester United fan. And they say that Manchester United fans, usually spread well around the country, which they are, and of course abroad as well. So I've always liked them. But I wouldn't have minded them winning. But I wouldn't have minded if Bournemouth. From a layman, it was a great game to watch in that second half, particularly because you never knew. And when there was a goal, you thought, well, there's probably going to be another goal as well. Probably the fact that it ended 4-4 was a good, fair thing. I think if either of those teams had won what turned out to be a great game to watch, it would have been a shame for that team. As it was, they both have gone away probably with a sense of wealth, because Man U could have thought, God, they could have won 5-4 at the end, but for the goalie. And Bournemouth could have thought, oh, all this way, a long journey back to Bournemouth, if they weren't staying over. And great game to watch. And I'm not sure I'd say it was the greatest game in the Premier League, if that's what he said, but it was good from the neutral observer. It was an exciting football match to watch. Yeah, very good.
It was filled with goals as well. Yeah, it was entertaining as well because it was back to back. End to end. Sorry, I mean end to end. It was going, but I was disappointed. And we've only got just over a minute to go. But just briefly, would that be a testament to Amorim's defense as being in shambles, or would it be a testament to his attack being good?
I think it's a testament to the fact that he changes his tactics even mid-game. I think I sort of detected in the second half there was a slight change of position of certain players. And I think he's known for doing that. He'll before a match, the next match, he'll say to the players, "Look, we're doing it a bit differently this week." That can be both good and bad. It's good to have the flexibility to change your approach. Don't be stuck rigidly in a pattern that you doesn't always work. Equally, players like to know where they stand. So I don't know what it means. I think possibly the jury might still be out as far as the owners are concerned for
Oh,
Amorim.
this is all we've got time for. This is the last show of this year, so we won't be having any show till next year. So, well, we hope you have a happy holidays or have a good holiday, whatever you're celebrating. Now, would you like to do the closing remarks for us, please, Bob?
Yes, I echo that. Have a great December period, Christmas, holidays, etc., etc. Have a great time. We look forward to welcoming you back on the first week in the new year. So look out for us then in the Football Referee. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me Bruv.
And I'm Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cos. It's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me too.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.